Some of you may be familiar with the first ever published module, Palace of the Vampire Queen, but not so renowned is its successor, the charming Dwarven Glory. There are, I think, 3 versions of this: the original 1977 version for OD&D, a 2013 AD&D reprint by Pacesetter, and the 2022 Pressis Intermedia version recommended for Basic Expert. The reprint seems to have made some small changes to some of the monsters that appear. As I don't have the very original, I'm not certain of the extent of the changes. Still, I think much remains the same, and certainly the old school feel remains. The background to the module is short and dull. The Dwarven Glory used to be a thriving and wealthy place, but alas, orcs invaded and put an end to that prosperity. About as generic as one can get, but luckily this mundanity does not continue into the module's contents. The atmosphere is unlike a standard abandoned dwarven mine of typical fantasy, and there is a degree of whimsy and mystery common to old-school D&D modules, which is hard to describe. It is an atmosphere also seen in old Judges Guild modules or even echoes from Fomalhaut. This is an adventure kit. It is, like a lot of very old modules, a place to explore with interesting creatures and situations. It is not a story to be played through. Having said that, there are plenty of situations which sow the seeds from which stories will emerge. The dwarves who have fallen to barbaric paganism and seek a human sacrifice, a female barmaid who is a high-level magic user and charms characters to fight for her affection, a minotaur who enchants the party to find his missing son. None of these ideas are elaborated upon more than a few sentences, but they are ideas ripe for whole adventures. Each room has a brief paragraph description, with surprisingly a lot of information included. The DM is expected to use the descriptions as a jumping off point for encounters. Not all will be combat. In fact, due to the power level of some opponents, combat would be deadly. It may be that the high-level magic users and demons are so powerful to ensure that they are interacted with in a non-combat fashion. Like many of the oldest modules, it's not clear what level the characters should be best suited for this module. My guess is around 3rd to 6th level, though it seems that the dungeon can be revisited many times over the course of the character's career, with more opportunities opening up as they increase in level. The presence of a lich suggests the PC should be around 6th level, as characters of level 5 and lower will automatically flee from liches in original D&D. There are some features of the adventure that are jarring. The old dwarven stronghold has a modern feel to it. A theatre with refreshment stand, a police station with interrogation room and evidence locker, a visitor's information centre. A bit of work can be done to make these areas seem more in keeping with the traditional fantasy milieu. The maps are nice and clear, with a wonderful border design. Not quite as extravagant as those seen in Dungeon Crawl Classics, but a pleasant addition nonetheless. The map uses 3-foot hexes for some reason though, not particularly useful in today's game. Each of the 8 maps shows a different section of the mine rather than a level. The maps are supposed to be approached in any order, though an order is provided for both inexperienced and experienced players. The structure of the maps is not great. Mostly a series of caves off of a main tunnel. It is a linear affair, defeating the point of the modular tiles, and inferior to the multiple exits of geomorphs. It is probably best to simply follow one of the pre-written map sequences. Furniture, doors, and even gems are clearly marked on the map. And speaking of gems, let's get onto one of the strangest things about the module, that being the obscene amounts of treasure available. There is about 5 million XP up for grabs in this adventure, almost all through treasure. There are some gems worth 500,000 gold pieces scattered around the map. Most of them are difficult to get hold of, but still, even one of these gems will be a worthy prize. It is one reason that I cannot clearly determine what level this module is designed for. Perhaps such treasures are there for much higher level parties than 6th. The Dwarf Vault by itself contains 3.5 million gold pieces worth of gems, for example. quite the haul if the players are able to overcome the locks and traps on the vault door. It is nice to see gems as the main form of treasure. Many of the gems are magical, most with some kind of design upon them that hints at their use. Magical items are in abundance here as well. There are lots of +2 and +3 weapons, inexplicably carried by low-level monsters such as kobolds and hobgoblins. Overall, I would say that the treasure in this module is excessive and should be toned down. However, here is yet another avenue for storytelling. For what 6th level party will bring millions of gold pieces worth of treasure back to town without being robbed by greedy brigands? One could even have the party's own retainers treacherously steal the valuable gems while their employers are injured or mid-combat. The party members themselves may succumb to greed and fight amongst themselves for the valuable gems. There is no wandering monster table in the module, and no time limit for exploration. The expectation will be to return time and again to this place. I would have liked to see some more entrances into the mine and a less linear map. Some of the dungeon occupants lack a reason for their presence, and a little more information regarding the relationship between factions would have been good. This is an odd module, but full of old school character. Nothing in the way of story is presented, yet story emerges from the situations. Despite its shortcomings, the brief evocative situations are compelling, and I'm certainly looking forward to adding the Dwarven glory to my campaign. Have you ever run this module? How did it go? Let me know in the comments. This module can be purchased from DriveThruRPG, from Pressis Games, or even from Amazon. Links are in the description. And as always, thanks for watching.